All right, y'all. We are back with another video. Once again, shout out to Benny. Man, Benny been doing a great job keeping us updated. Salute to him for that. I will leave the original video in the description. Make sure y'all go over there and show Benny some love. And he said that right now Vivek is snapping. Now, we do know what Vivek just said to Abby Phillips. It's just crazy that I hate every time Vivek do these interviews and stuff with CNN, especially Abby Phillips. She just always constantly cuts him off. As soon as he start bringing up Trump, if he say anything about Trump that's in a good light, she always cuts him off. They all do that. Anybody that work over there for CNN, when they start saying something, he starts saying good stuff about Trump, they just immediately try to cut this man off. Don't be misleading our crowd. That ain't misleading. It's on video what happened about the J6 situation. It's on video. How is he misleading? Misleading is what y'all did, and y'all been lying about Trump for the longest. To try to paint him in this bad light is what y'all been doing. So we come across this one right here where Benny said that Vivek finally snaps live on CNN and tells the host to shut the F up. Said a crowd roars and it was a total meltdown. Now, I want to see exactly what Vivek had to say, what led up to him saying that. But I'm not shocked because the CNN hosts, they are some serious, especially, like I said, especially Abby Phillips. She is something else. That woman would not let you get a word out when he paint Trump in a good light. She don't want to hear it. But like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody showing so much support. Everybody been leaving positive comments in the comment section. I also want to thank everybody that clicked on this video for the very first time. And shout out to the one that always watches the entire video and hit that like button. Because that right there really helps out and more people get to see my reaction. And that right there is where it helped the channel grow. So please watch to the end. And as you coming in, scroll down to the bottom of this video and hit that like button for me. It really, really, really helps out a lot. All right. So without further ado, let's get straight to it, y'all. Let's see what led up to this.
Van Jones on CNN afterwards saying, this is the rise of an American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking. That's what he says. Just shut the up.
Oh.
At a certain point.
Oh.
Just shut the up.
Wow.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. It brings me great joy to report to you that Republican presidential primary now has its own go yourself moment, modeling after Elon Musk himself.
If somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself. Go yourself. Hey, Bob.
Sound like a WWE crowd.
Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, right? Tells CNN's Van Jones to just go F himself, shut the F up at Turning Point USA conference. I was backstage when this happened. This was a uproarious moment, ladies and gentlemen. Vivek took the stage right after me, and hot damn, did he bring the house down. Okay, so how exactly did we get there? Where does this beef start, and where is it going? This is really, really important stuff. So it begins with Vivek Ramaswamy talking about January 6th, talking about the Great Replacement Theory, talking about all of the known facts as it pertains to the deep state during the last presidential debate. It sounded like this.
Not Donald Trump. It's not even Joe Biden. It is the deep state that at least Donald Trump attempted to take on. And if you want somebody who's going to speak truth to power, then vote for somebody who's going to speak the truth to you. Why am I the only person on the stage, at least, who can say that January 6th now does look like it was an inside job? That the government lied to us for 20 years about Saudi Arabia's involvement in 9/11.
Yep.
That the Great Replacement Theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. That the 2020 election was indeed stolen by big tech. That the 2016 election, the one that Trump won for sure, was also one that was stolen from him by the national security establishment that actually put up the Trump-Russia collusion. It was false.
That's not true. It's not true.
See, that's what they do. Stop him every time he mentioned Trump.
That prompted Van Jones, the disgraced, fired Obama apparatchik, who was the green energy czar under Obama. He got fired for being like a 9/11 truther, I think. And then as the story goes, he gets hired by CNN immediately, had this to say about Vivek.
that he just spews this poison out is very, very dangerous, because he won't stop Trump, but he's going to outlive Trump by about 50 years. And you're watching the rise of an American demagogue that is a very, very despicable person. Yeah. And I literally was shaking listening to him talk, because a lot of people don't know that is one step away from Nazi propaganda coming out of his mouth.
Okay, so it's the Indian Nazi. All right,
Nazi
got it. Good one. Try harder, Van. And literally shaking. I love it. I love it. It's so delicious. I was literally shaking. How many times do we use in a headline? I was literally shaking. Van Jones was literally shaking. So, ladies and gentlemen, what's interesting, by the way, about this little exchange is that Van Jones himself has described how and what will happen when they succeed in creating a world where where there is a minority white population in America. These are Van Jones's words, not mine. Please listen for yourself and judge for yourself what Van Jones is considering as a political win.
White majority to do something is difficult. And I think it'd be easier if we just acknowledge that it's difficult. No ethnic majority group in 10,000 years of human history that I can find ever went from being a majority to being a minority and liked it. And that's basically the request from the racial justice left, is that we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it.
And
that's
like
a tough request. And the reality is that change is hard. Change that you want is hard. Change that is good is hard.
Change that is good, change that you want, and I want you to like it. Going from a majority to a minority. That's Van Jones's words, not mine. You have a problem with it? Take it up with Van Jones. Well, Vivek Ramaswamy has a problem with it. Vivek tweeted that clip saying, yesterday Van Jones called me a demagogue for discussing the great replacement theory. Well, here is Van Jones' words in 2021. The request from the radical justice left, of which Van Jones is a part of, is we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it. Change is hard, change is good. Well, that's what Van Jones said. So,
see, a lot of these people just be double talking themselves. They'll say one thing, but then they think when they didn't say something 2 or 3 years ago, won't nobody find a clip about it. You see how some of these people be double talking? They'll have a problem with something that they said years ago. Yeah, they said it years ago, and since everything that they feel like they didn't change, now it's a problem. These folks don't do nothing but just be double talking. Now you see why Vivek told them to shut the you-know-what up. Man, all this double talking is some serious, man. Just look at this. The request from the radical justice left, we want the white majority to go from being a majority to being a minority and like it. And that's the main word, and like it. Like you just better like it. Like, come on. That's a tough request, and change is hard. Oh, man.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? Like, so it goes. Well, the pen is powerful, more powerful than the sword, and words are certainly more powerful than the sword. And Vivek Ramaswamy had words for Van Jones live on a Turning Point stage. The first time I've ever heard an F-bomb dropped on one of these stages. I've been on a lot of Turning Point stages. I've never heard an F-bomb dropped like this, and Vivek was rolling in it. Watch.
We demand a government that tells us the truth again in this country. That's what we require. We can handle the truth. That's what it means to be a citizen of this country. So I say that on that last debate stage to a bunch of Republicans that are shaking in their boots. These are the things you're not supposed to say in the Republican Party even today. And then you get the mainstream media. You got this character Van Jones on CNN afterwards saying, this is the rise of an American demagogue who's going to live 50 years longer than Trump. This is dangerous. I am shaking. That's what he says. Just shut the f*** up.
There you
At
go.
a certain point, just shut the f*** up. Van Jones at CNN.
There you go. Tell it like it is.
We're done with it.
Yeah, Vivek is done with CNN. Vivek is done destroying CNN, by the way, which he does with regularity and with great aplomb. Vivek dropped numerous truth bombs on CNN when he did a CNN town hall earlier in the week and absolutely roasted Abby Phillips. And we'll get you that clip in just a second. But just a reminder that Van Jones isn't the only person that was pissed off by Vivek's comments. Nancy Pelosi talking about the inside job factors on January 6th, was, of course, we have the body cam footage. We have all the videos. We have all the tape. The official, whatever you think of January 6th.
Just look at Nancy Pelosi. All she do is lie. I can't see how Nancy Pelosi ain't locked up yet. Her daughter then was up in there with their own little old documentary crew, their own little camera crew. And then she's going to try to say Donald Trump, it was Donald Trump and his GOP allies. He was responsible for it. Look at this. Nancy Pelosi says Jan 6 was an inside job by Donald Trump. Man, how do they keep letting Nancy Pelosi get away with all this? That woman's supposed to have been locked up. She even threatened Donald Trump by talking about she gonna hit the man. I still remember that clip that Benny showed. I ain't forgot about that. Talking about, yeah, I'm gonna hit him and they gonna lock me up and all type of stuff. I can't see how Nancy Pelosi ain't been in no courtroom or nothing yet. This is ridiculous. But yet they want to put Trump in the courtroom. They be quick to do that. I'm like, golly, where is Nancy Pelosi? Put her in a courtroom.
The official narrative is a lie. The official narrative is false. And so Nancy Pelosi, being the person who was very much at the center of the inside job, and what do I mean by that? Like, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, according to the testimony of Stephen Sund, who was the Capitol Police Chief at the time, Nancy Pelosi's team, who is the only team that could pick up the phone and request the National Guard to be deployed, didn't pick up the phone, did not respond to him for 90 minutes whilst the breach teams were moving towards the Capitol building. They kept calling and she didn't pick up. I would like to know why that happened.
Because she was in on it.
Why that happened.
Yep.
Nobody wanted January 6th to happen. Most top level, me, right? It has been inconvenient, obviously, and it has been very convenient for the left from a narrative perspective, right? And so it is very, like, I don't want January 6th to happen. That's why was totally in favor of Donald Trump, who wanted 20,000 National Guard troops to be stationed at the Capitol. And Nancy Pelosi, again, said no. So why is Nancy Pelosi saying no? I would like to know the answers to that. Nancy Pelosi says January 6th was an inside job, responding to Vivek. It was an inside job by Donald Trump. Really, how can you stage an insurrection when you're the one putting federal troops there to protect the building? Donald Trump ordered 20,000 federal troops there. Nancy Pelosi rejected them. Nancy Pelosi didn't pick up the phone calls. And so I guess judge a man by his enemies, and Vivek's enemies are, losing their minds and literally shaking. Check this out from Vivek on CNN, making the anchor there, the host, Abby Phillips, who has to read from cue cards, literally shaking. It seems to be a trend here. Go.
Let me ask you about something that you said at the debate last week. You used the phrase inside job to describe what happened on January 6th. The next day, Capitol rioter Alan Hostetter highlighted your comments at his sentencing. He is going to prison for 11 years. Hostetter threatened members of Congress. He brought a hatchet, knives, pepper spray, stun batons, tactical gear to the U.S. Capitol. Are you concerned that a convicted felon like that is now promoting your comments in court?
So here's my concern, Abby. And I want to tell you guys where I'm at. If you had told me it's close to 3 years ago that January 6, 2021 happened. If you had told me 3 years ago, back when I was a biotech CEO, not steeped in this world, I was just consuming passive media, but was focused on my world of developing medicines. If you had told me that January 6 was in any way an inside job, the subject of government entrapment, I would have told you that was crazy talk. Fringe conspiracy theory nonsense. I can tell you now, having gone somewhat deep in this, it's not. I mean, the reality is this. We do have a government, first of all, we have to acknowledge, that has lied to us systematically over the last several years about the origin of COVID-19, about the Hunter Biden laptop that we were told was false by 51 CIA experts and otherwise before we now know that it was true. You can go straight down the list, the Trump-Russia disinformation collusion hoax, all of it. Now we come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's shameful. And if I may finish just answering.
Well, let me
I'm
going to go ahead and interrupt you.
See, that right there is what they do right there. Soon as he get to talking and making points, this is what CNN hosts always do. Cut him off. Like, you ask the man a question. Let him give you an answer. He won't even finish with his answer, and she already ready to get to the next question. Like, come on, stop playing. Man.
Here because
I know this
that there
establishment doesn't approve of this message. I know
that there were federal
we should
agents.
be able to talk about this.
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You are saying there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
Yep.
There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none? They just couldn't say how many there were.
So you're saying that that you have not seen any evidence.
So
that
we've
there
seen
were,
multiple.
and so
We've seen multiple
that
informants suggesting that there were. We know people were FBI informants who were asked to.
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this, and then you can come back and question me?
But let me clarify.
I know it's very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my question.
I know this is an uncomfortable issue for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because I want to make sure that you understand what I'm asking.
I understand this deeply. And I told you, I was with you 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Yes.
Where is the evidence that the government had a plot?
So let's do this.
An inside job.
But no, I'm going to tell you what an inside job is because I'm not
violence on January 6th.
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Where is the evidence that the government
Like, can he answer the question? She already asked the question and he's trying to answer it and she just constantly cutting him off. That just has to be annoying. Just because it's not the answer she wants to hear, she's going to keep cutting them off. Oh, man.
Was involved
entrapment,
in planning or executing January 6th.
So I'm going to give you hard facts, and if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on it after that. And you can push back on that, and let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released, 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd, shooting tear gas into that crowd? You didn't see that before. You saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police allowing people in.
Again,
oh, God.
The vast majority of the footage
evidence should have been released before, Abby.
Mr. Ramaswamy, the vast majority of the footage shows police officers being overrun
and I want to talk about one more
by
case.
violent
this is really important.
rioters. That's
I'm going to give you some hard facts.
Of it shows.
So here's what entrapment is.
Cherry pick.
I'm not cherry
my
picking.
God.
If I may finish, Abby.
Cannot cherry pick
I'm not cherry picking.
Examples.
To the contrary. To the contrary, you know who cherry picked? You know who cherry picked? The government.
That is what happened.
The government cherry picked 12 hours of footage when there was 200 hours of footage. So cherry picking was the government, not me. Release the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic.
So
I think this is a civil libertarian issue of our time. Gretchen Whitmer's kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000, encouraged them to buy munitions, plan something they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to know this, especially CNN viewers to know this, is that one of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards, gave him a hug, apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police. People letting them in freely. Many of those people then being charged.
Look,
the government cannot put you up to do something and then charge you for it. That's wrong.
I don't want to have
to. Wrong to the left, or the right.
I don't want to have to interrupt you. I really don't.
You do.
I don't want you.
What kind of stuff is that? Is that I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm doing it now though. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm gonna interrupt you. Make that make sense. I told you the truth hurts. I don't know why they keep bringing Vivek to the show and answering him questions. He's just going to keep making you look bad. And Abby, she just so annoying, man, by just cutting people off.
To mislead the audience here.
Mislead the audience?
I think they've been misled by the mainstream media.
She said don't mislead the audience. Misleading is what y'all be doing every day. misleading, talking bad about Donald Trump, trying to like, come on, man. I don't even have to repeat myself about that. We all know what's going on. We all know. Let's just say that we all know. But like I said, y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about this. Man, this right here was wild. Vivek absolutely snapped. So shout out to Vivek, man. He does a good job. The man knows what he's talking about. He's good on the microphone. And Vivek is another one of those, like Candace Owens, like all of them. Don't hold back. He speak that truth. He speak them facts. And they can't handle it. That's just what it is. But like I said, make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for watching. And I will catch y'all in the next one.